For this video, I'm going to restore the Oracle database that I backed up in the previous video. So the first thing I'll do is log into SQL Plus and get the file locations of where files are stored. Whilst I'm logged in at the moment, I'll shut the database down. As we can see, all the data files are stored in the oradata/exe, and the log files for the online log are in the fast recovery area. Also in the fast recovery area, but not shown here, are archive log files. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to remove these files. Which is the control files and our database data files. The log files I'll leave where they are. In a real recovery scenario, what I would suggest is install the database software and set up a database in broadly the same structure as the original production database that you want to recover from, i.e. that the data files are in the same location, that the log files are in the same location, that the control files are in the same location. This just makes it a little bit easier during the restore. Then the second thing which I would suggest to do is then copy the log files from wherever you've multiplexed them to, in this case, the fast recovery area exe online log. So I'll actually just pretend that I've copied these files from the multiplex location to the online log location. What I will do though is just remove one copy of each of these on the basis that that would have been my original production version. Then the next thing which I will do is just remove the server parameter files that exist currently. So effectively it then gives me the same position as I would have if I'd just done a clean install. So I'll remove all of these files that are in here. So now the only thing which I now have from my original database on the server is one log file from each of the three log groups. In the previous video, I did the backup to this folder backups in the home Paul W directory. So the first step is to log into RMAN. As we can see, the RMAN has told us that the database is not started. The first step that we want to do before we try to start the database is set the database ID, which is in this part of the file name for the control files. So the database ID is now set. Now I can recover the SP file from the control file. The previous step before restoring the SP file from the control file is we just need to start the database. No mount. So we can see that Oracle tried to start the database with the init exe.ora file, but because it wasn't available, then it's started the instance without a parameter file, which just gives us a Oracle software to work with. So now we'll restore the SP file. Now we can shut the database down. And then start up again without mounting the. And this time we don't get an error message about our server parameter file not being available. The next thing that to do is to restore the control file. And this will actually restore both copies of our control file. Now we can mount the database. This means that Oracle will use the information that is available in the control files. And the next step is to catalog the backup files that we've made. Now we're able to restore the actual database data files, which is a simple command of restore database. Alternatively, you can preview the files that will be restored, and this gives information about when the backup was made, the database files that are contained in the backup, and the list of archived log files that are available. So these were all the files and information that was recorded at the time when we did the hot backup. What it doesn't include is any log files or archived log files that occurred after we'd made our hot backup. So I'll now actually restore the database. This will take about a minute, which I'll speed up in the video. Restoring the data files is completed, so the final step is to now apply any archive log files and log files that are available. As we've already would have copied those to the fast recovery area in this case, then it makes the recover step a lot simpler. As we can see here, there's two archive log files which are already on the disk, and an online log file which is also available. These have been applied and now bring us up to the current point when the database was last available. So the final step is to alter the database to open it available for general use. Just need to use the reset logs option here. The reset logs effectively ties up the point where the database was actually at with the way that we've made the changes currently, and as it says, resets the logs. At this point, what you should do in a production environment would be to make a backup of the database, assuming that you check that everything is recovered as expected. So the final thing which I'll do is just go and have a look in the original file locations, so that we can see that the data files have been restored and the SP file has been restored. So we can see that we've got the SP file xc.ora is back, and there's a few additional files that the database uses. In addition to the 2 control files, there's 5 data files, 4 of which were restored from the backup, and 1, the temporary data file, was actually just created based on its definition. So we can see here, these are the 4 files, actual data files that were restored. The temporary table space doesn't contain any data which needs to be retained. It's just used for the database in processing operations such as sorting data as part of a select statement. I hope you found this video useful of how to do a simple restore, again from a simple backup. I would say if you do use the hot backup option with the Oracle database, do test out and get yourself familiar with doing a restore of the database.